Hello and welcome. I'm Kamla. Today my guest is Anuj Vaidya, who is an artist, educator and media curator. Anuj is involved with the Third Eye Film Festival that is showing in San Francisco from September 19th to the 23rd. Welcome to the show, Anuj.
Thank you, Kamla, for having me.
So, artist, educator and media curator, very intriguing.
Yeah, big words that really are very simple. I work in film and performance and also teach film and performance. And I used to work at the Pacific Film Archive, and so I'm an archivist of sorts as well.
So where do you teach? Where do you teach?
Well, I was working, like I said, at UC Berkeley, so I was doing some educational work through there, and then next semester I'll be teaching over in New Jersey at Montclair State University on queer representation in South Asian cinema, and so kind of all over the place.
So you live both on either coast?
Either coast, bicontinental.
Oh, you go to India too?
I spend about 4 months in India every year as well.
So you just come to the Bay Area for the film festival?
Right now, that's how it is for this year and for the next 2 years, because I'm also working on a film project that will take me back to India. And when I'm in India, I scout out films for Third Eye as well. So I'm doing work there as well.
So let's talk about that, because the Third Eye Film Festival has one Bollywood film.
Right.
And this year that is?
That is Cocktail.
Heady mix of cocktail there.
Cocktail, exactly. I mean, you know, we've got so many other films that are so issue-oriented and so intense that our Bollywood film is really all about just having fun, not thinking, just coming, looking at, you know, spectacle. It's
not
spectacle.
Thinking.
I mean, not thinking as in, I mean, it is still thinking because we do want our audiences.
You're basically saying park your brains and
in some
come
ways,
and have fun.
Come and have fun, yeah. I mean,
Will there be chai and samosa?
Chai, we'll try our best to accommodate that request.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How did you choose upon Cocktail for this year's film?
You know, it's always a mix of so many different circumstances, and you know, so we had about 3 or 4 different choices. Ishqazade was on the list. This other film, Miss Lovely, which just played at Toronto, which is not quite Bollywood. It's a very different kind of film. But in the end, just in terms of logistics, this is the one that worked out.
Okay, and the film is shot mostly in London.
Mostly in London.
And then it's got some shots of South Africa.
Yes, yes. I mean, this is what all people expect, right? It's the 6 stars, 6 songs and dances.
And who are the actors?
The actors are Deepika Padukone, Saif Ali Khan, and a brand new actress, Diana Penty, I think is her name.
Okay, so it's a big banner film.
Yes, absolutely, with Dimple Kapadia and Boman Irani as well, and they're actually really great in the film.
And they have some interesting songs from Coke Studio.
Yeah.
Fusion
songs.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm not quite
up to it
on that end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about you go to India to scout films. So what were the
films.
films you scouted for this year's film festival?
For this year's film festival, actually, I was at the Pune International Film Festival and I saw a couple of films which were really amazing. The one that really stuck out for me was Gurvinder Singh's Arms for a Blind Horse, which won him the Best Director National Award this year in India.
And what other films did you get?
Aragar Sami in Kudurai, which will play
Tamil?
in Tamil. Yeah, and that will play in San Jose.
Camera 12.
Camera 12.
On what date?
That's on September 30th.
September 30th. And the name of the film is?
Aragar Sami in Kudurai. Aragar Sami is horse.
Wooden horse.
Yeah, Aragar Sami is wooden horse.
Yeah. So because you speak Tamil, so I guess you have been responsible for curating and bringing in some Tamil films?
Tamil films, yes, we did. Last year we did a whole series called Cruel Cinema, which was looking at new cinema from Tamil Nadu, sort of a new wave of directors, and that traveled across the country. And not just South Indian films, I kind of look for regional films all across India, because I'm based in Pune, so I have contact with a lot of Marathi filmmakers, which is also seeing a huge revival. And then a lot of independent films in Bombay. There's also a very interesting sort of, you know, even Bollywood is moving in some very interesting ways with films like LSD, which we showed last year.
You showed?
Banerjee. Yeah, which is very atypical for Bollywood, no?
Yes, it is, because it's actually 3 vignettes woven into one.
Exactly, and all made on digital cameras, so it's...
so new technology is changing filmmaking?
Absolutely. New technology, I think a lot more foreign films are coming into the market, into India. Moza Bayer, which has just started to release all these like classic DVDs, Italian films, old French films.
And they're priced reasonably.
Absolutely. So it's very accessible to people. So there's a whole new cinematic language that people are being exposed to. both on the filmmaking side, but also on the audience side.
Okay.
I think so. People are more willing to experiment.
So the festival is going to be playing from the 19th to the 23rd.
That's right.
And the opening day is, Yvonne talked about
Yes,
it.
the Island President.
The Island President.
Yes.
And then what are the other films that you have?
Then
How is it organized? Do you have films and shots, and do you have a theme?
Yeah, we usually have a lot of slots that we try to fill. So we want to make sure that we reach families, and so we've got Aragasami and Kudrai, which will reach that audience. We've got a classic film this year, which is Raj Kapoor's Jag Te Raho.
Oh, okay. That's not a very well-known film of his.
No, and that's really why we picked it, because that it's kind of a more of a departure for Raj Kapoor. It was a collaboration between him and a lot of Bengali filmmakers, and we've got a Bengali spotlight in this year's festival.
And you also have a Sikh spotlight.
We also have a Sikh spotlight.
And what are the films that you're showing from?
From Sikh filmmakers, we've got Gurvinder's Arms for a Blind Horse, and then we've got a shorts program called Sikh I Am, which deals specifically with male perspectives on Sikh identity. So we've got a local filmmaker, Mandeep Sethi, who will be showing his film Sikh Ligar in that, which is about Sikh weapon makers. Film about the turban, the significance of the turban, and that's a filmmaker from DC, Harjant Gill, and he'll be coming in for that.
And what is the film about? Does it show about how a turban is tied?
It's just about changing attitudes towards a turban. How in India, he follows 6 different, from boys to men, like 14 years old to like 80-year-old men, and each of them talks about their relationship to the turban. And it's super interesting.
And this is an American filmmaker.
It's an American filmmaker.
And the name of the film is?
Roots of Love.
Roots of Love.
Yeah.
So the Roots of Love is about the love for the turban.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It's very interesting.
And did you pick that after what happened in Wisconsin or before that?
Actually, we did have a sort of a Sikh Punjabi focus. It's interesting because we've got 2 other Punjabi filmmakers in the festival, and their content has nothing to do with like their identity or Punjabi. Both those films deal with African or African American issues.
Well, one is Avi Luthra's film, Lucky.
Film, Lucky, and then the other is Angad Bhalla's film, Herman's House, which deals with a Black Panther who's been in solitary confinement for over 40 years, the longest in solitary confinement.
Where was this film shot?
It was all shot in, I forget exactly where. I think in New Orleans, maybe.
Or okay.
Yeah, yeah. So but he's a Canadian filmmaker, a Canadian Punjabi filmmaker who's based in New York now.
Okay, so he shot a film about a Black Panther. So it has no
South Asian content.
No South Asian. Yeah. So okay, so you have those 3 Sikh films.
Yeah, and then we've got and then the 2 films that I mentioned, Sikh I Am and Gurvinder's film.
So 5 films.
Yeah.
Are you having a Bhangra party?
We are actually. We're having a big dance party on Thursday night, and Bhangra certainly will be part of the music.
Is it non-stop Bhangra folks?
No, it's not them. But they're supporting the festival, and they're one of our co-presenters. But we're kind of tying into our Bengali focus, and we've got this Bangladeshi American DJ, Smokestack, and
Smokestack. That's his name.
That's his DJ name, Smokestack, and his partner, DJ Chungtek, is her name. So it's going to be an eclectic mix of music from 80s to Bollywood to retro Bollywood to Bhangra to all of it.
And that's on the 19th?
That's on the 20th, Thursday night.
Thursday night, 20th.
Yeah.
And
so it's a brand new venue that we're trying out, 780 Cafe.
Okay,
in the Mission District.
Okay. And what about parking if you're going to go to?
We would highly recommend taking public transportation, not just for parking issues, because we also want to be green. Yeah, but in the Mission, it shouldn't be a problem, I think. If you're coming to the Castro, then definitely take public transportation.
So the opening night is going to be at the Roxy?
Opening night's at the Roxy. Yeah.
And then the other films will be shown?
The other films, on Thursday and Friday, we're at the Roxy again. Saturday, we move to the Castro, and Sunday, we come back to the Roxy.
Okay, and then the following week, you come to San Jose, Camera 12.
Yeah.
And so what about the shots? Do you have any interesting shots?
Oh, yes, absolutely. This year, we've actually got 3 shots programs. I mentioned Sikh I Am. Our international shots program is really fantastic, and that's something we used to do at the Asian American Film Festival. It used to be Third Eyes International Shots. But this year, we've kind of taken over and put it in our program. We've got Smita Bhide, who just won Best Shots Award at the International Film Festival of India in Goa for her film Another Planet. And it's about a young girl who has to make a very hard choice. Her mother's dying, and she goes to a shaman who asks her to that she can get her mother's life back if she's willing to sacrifice another life, and this young girl has to make this choice and what she does with it. It's really kind of chilling, but an amazing, amazing film.
And you also have a film that won the best documentary at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Right, that's a feature that's called The World Before Her, and that plays at the Castro on Saturday afternoon, 2:30.
And that's
Nisha Pahuja is the filmmaker. She's also Canadian.
So Canadians are making some very interesting films.
Very interesting films, yeah.
So Nisha Pahuja's film is very interesting because it contrasts two worlds in this changing India.
Absolutely. It goes into the Durga Vahini camps, which are the RSS camps for women, and it contrasts that against the Miss India pageants. And it's very interesting. Two extremes, but in some ways they kind of come together because they're very complicated in both ways. I mean, they're both very empowering in some ways, and they're also very problematic in other ways.
How did you get to choose that film?
We actually had to really kind of push for that film because we saw it, we heard about it, we tracked different festivals, and we heard about it through Tribeca, and we have a good relationship with them. So we watched it, and both Ivan and I were really taken by that film because it's so complex, and it's not black and white, it's very gray. It brings up a lot of complex issues.
So you were left to your own interpretations?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many films do you watch? Do you watch a film a day?
Do I watch a film a day? You know, it depends. It depends on what else I'm doing in my life. When I'm making a film, not really. But if I'm just programming, then yes, one film a day, sometimes 2 films a day, sometimes 4 films a day.
Oh, you do watch 4 films. So do
I
you
have.
So do you watch? And I'm asking you the same question I asked Yvonne.
Yeah.
How do you watch? Theater, computer, iPhone?
Theater definitely. I love going to the theater. It's a different experience watching films with people. Not on my iPhone because I don't have an iPhone. But on my computer, I don't have a television either. So I think I do a lot of watching on my computer, on my laptop.
On a lot of, and you and Yvonne, congrats! Both of you were recognized for your contribution to San Francisco, right?
Right.
What was that award by KQED?
KQED and Union Bank. It was for Asian Pacific Heritage Awareness Month, and so we got Local Heroes Award. And actually, it wasn't just for Ivan and me. That's really an award for Third Eye, for our whole community, because our festival is really volunteer run, and so without everyone,
so did you get a
really
plaque?
I'm sorry?
Did you get a plaque?
Yes, we both got a plaque, yeah.
So local hero.
Local hero, yeah.
Anuj, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you, Kamla, for having me again.
Not at all. Yeah. So the Third Eye Film Festival is going to be running from September 19th to the 23rd in San Francisco. And on September 30th, for the first time, they're going to be showing some films at Camera 12 in San Jose. And we were talking to Anuj, who is a local hero from San Francisco. And thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with another show next week. Until then, goodbye.